Hello and welcome to episode 40 of Rival Banter. I'm one of your hosts, Luke Croft. Joining me, as always, my esteemed co host in the old lang sign himself, ladies and gentlemen, Doug Martin.
Here I am.
Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year. It's good to see you. It's like I haven't seen you in so long.
I know. For some reason, having an announced break felt like it was a longer delay than the unforeseen breaks that we had to take last year when my computer was being stupid. But I am very glad to be back. How's the first 6 days of your new year been?
It's been great. Just gotta slowly dealing with the realization that work's beginning back again, and but it'll all be great.
Did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, man. How about you?
I did. Did some running around to go see family at the first part of my Christmas break, and then just sat around the house for like a week straight, not having to work. It
Yeah,
was really nice.
yeah, we did a lot of that too.
Nice. Well, this is Rival Banter. We get together every week and talk about all things Marvel Rivals, then push it out on YouTube and on podcast services everywhere. Just search up Rival Banter, and also follow us on social media at Rival Banter. Wherever you're listening to us, we greatly appreciate you guys. We're gonna we actually have quite a bit to cover this week, so we're just gonna jump right into the entire rigmarole here. But we're going to start off with a couple viewer comments. We didn't do a whole lot over the break as far as content is concerned, so we've just got two comments from Spotify over here. And the first comment comes from Ethan Brooks. Says, I would like to have Reptile added to the game, Mystery Heroes mode, and game mode with all past team ups active. I don't know who Reptile is in the Marvel context.
I had to look him up. He's I still don't really know, but he's the spelling threw me. I'm like, my mind immediately, of course, goes to Mortal Kombat. But looking him back up, I know I've seen him in like the King in Black arc a little bit. He's just not. He's kind of a deep cut one, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did do something like this. He's got like these T-Rex arms things going on.
So this isn't the guy that was in the Spider-Man movie.
No, that's the Lizard.
Oh,
This
sorry.
is somebody
My apologies.
different. Yeah, he's got a whole thing with Shield and then Devil Dinosaur and a bunch of other stuff. That's about all I know about him. But I mean, he's cool. I could see him like um, kind of in the DPS category, maybe, or he's the big reptile arms kind of weirding me out a little bit. But I could see how that would be an advantage, especially like getting up close and brawly.
Oh yeah, hold on. I'm pulling up a picture of him, which I probably should have done when we started this, but I'm gonna share the image right here. So yeah, is he like a kid? It looks like a kid.
It does look like a kid, yeah. It's a young boy, blah, blah, blah. I don't think he's been in too much stuff from like the tiny little bit of research that I've done here.
Oh, and
Um,
it's actually Reptile. I thought it was just a typo.
okay, yeah,
It's
cool.
Reptile. It looks like he was added to Marvel Puzzle Quest
Mm.
as well. So he showed up in some other Marvel gaming IP at least. But yeah, it looks like a kid. And there's actually a mock-up that I just found of him on the Marvel Rivals subreddit where somebody did some
Ooh.
like a fan art mock-up of him. So that's pretty cool. He is a teenager, by the way. We have some other teens in the game though, like Spider-Man, I think is canonically in high school normally, and Cloak and Dagger, I think, are teens. So, you know,
It tracks, yeah.
it
I mean,
tracks.
could be cool. I would not be against it.
We're going to do our own predictions here shortly. But I do like some of these other. I think Mystery Heroes is just one of those kind of like obvious additions that they need to have that would be fun. But a game mode with all past team ups active. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I would absolutely love to have that back. Get that old mag sword back. I know I've mentioned it before, but that's a special kind of dream of mine. It's just getting that thing back with Scarlet Witch and going to town.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any that have been taken out that I'm like really desperate to get back, but I really don't think there are. The mag sword's really the only thing that I can think of. There might be some others that are just slipping my mind though.
I'm imagining it might be too messy, but like if it's all past team ups active, like will that mean that you have like the Black Panther and Hulk and Iron Man team ups like all
Mm,
together in a lobby? Like you could make a super damage team. I don't know. That'd be pretty wet and wild.
yeah, does Namor get both the like gamma squid and the Luna Snow squid that he got? Like, do you get
Mm,
two options? I mean, Mag same way, right? Do you get both the old sword and then his new like team up with Gambit in it as
yeah.
well? So
Logistically, it might be a nightmare, but I mean, it could be cool.
yeah.
Like kind of like a mayhem mode in Destiny or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, maybe it just randomizes what team ups that you have from the past or something like that. Um, but yeah, it could be cool. 22 TK, friend of the show, replied on Spotify, said, I'm trying to climb ranked for the first time, and man, is it frustrating as a solo queue player. Previous seasons, I'd climb to Plat 3 just for the rewards and stop there. Not sure if the game is rigged or the matchmaking is just that atrocious, but I can't get out of Plat 1 for my life. I'll be within 2 wins of Diamond 3, and then here comes the 5 game loss streak, where apparently I just lose all my skill as a player. It's so strange how the difficulty in this game fluctuates so wildly. Seth, I think this is kind of a good time just to talk about our weekend rivals because we've been on the climb lately, and this just feels like it was something that is 22 TKU, perhaps, or you
No,
22 TK.
I mean that would be a great twist in the narrative, but
This
no,
this would be the most writing you've ever done for the show.
yeah, seriously. But no, we've had a pretty rough week. I've been hard stuck in Plat 2. Very similarly, I don't think we've had some like a 5 game lose streak, but I would almost rather have that because then it would get me to take a break. I feel like we've been clinging to hope, like we've had just enough success to where it's frustratingly like we're standing still. Last night I ended up finally kind of in a positive area where I was like I did significantly better, or like my rank points were significantly better by the end of the night playing than they had been after, several other nights of the week. So that was kind of a high point, not a great high point, but we've been kind of just in that zone where, we'll win one, lose two, win two, lose two. I think you've made it up to Plat 1 just barely and then sank back down. I think you did make it back to Plat
Yeah,
1
yeah.
last
Last
night.
night
Is
I
that
made
right?
it back to Plat 1. So,
And I
did you
think
play some ranked without me? How are we so far apart? Because aren't you like two
uh
games away from Plat 1?
Yeah, well, 1 great game or 2 good games, yeah, probably. So, yeah, I think I'm at, like, 75 point or no, sorry, I'm at 75 points in, I've got 25 to go to get to Plat 1. I don't really know how we got that far apart, honestly, because I know I was ahead of you at some point. I don't think I've played, I know over the break I didn't play any. If it was, like, 1 game, but I seriously doubt it, so I don't know, but I was just kind of again like pleased last night to be able to end up. Usually, I've been like losing 5 points a night in the overall scheme of things. So last night, I think I had like a 30 point um, credit to my account. So I was pretty happy.
Yeah, I'm back on my ranked bullshit in this game and in TFT. And in both games, I'm in like plat and just kind of bouncing around in the same area over and over. And it is kind of frustrating. But I don't know, man. Like, I feel like we either get shit stomped or we have the closest win ever. Like those are our
Mhm.
options. I mean, we had that one game last night on Idrisil where we just ran the other team over. But outside of that, I feel like over the last week, every win we've had in ranked has felt like the biggest struggle ever. And I think it's mostly just because we'll go out, we'll roll the first fight, and then instantaneously somebody on the other team will switch to support and they'll be going triple support. And I just got to say this, man, I hate triple support. We've talked about it before, and it's always been like I like that it's a strategy option and it gives some creativity for the different compositions that you can play and stuff. But right now, where we sit in the meta, it's honestly just a crutch for people. It's like if you have a DPS who goes out, gets shit stomped 3 fights in a row, they're just going to go play cloak and dagger. Like when they don't feel like they're either getting the healing that they deserve or they're not making the impact they feel like they should, they just go triple support, and the game instantly feels harder because you're like, how many times have I been like, what changed? And one of us opens the menu and it's like, oh, they're triple support. It's like you just feel it immediately.
You feel like the tide shift, and like, but it's weird too. Like this is why I'm not totally against triple support as a concept too. And again, like we've dove into it before, but like somehow, some way, it works for everybody else, but it doesn't seem to work when it's somebody doing it on our team. And I feel like it's usually because it's not one of us that's making that flex. As maybe cocky or arrogant as that might seem, but like we know our way around heals pretty well, and I feel like a lot of the time when people are making that dynamic shift, they're not maybe typically the most used to healing. Um, eh, I don't know. That's just wild speculation. Kind of differs from match to match, but um, yeah, we just seem to have had some pretty raw luck. I think we talked about like how we were so excited to get to Diamond before we took the break for 2 weeks or whatever, and we've been pretty stagnantly in plat for like the whole of this 2 weeks. So is what it is.
Yeah, I think I'm like 5 points into plat one or something like that. So I've got a ways to go to diamond. But I don't know. I'm still like, I don't know. Do you feel like you're enjoying playing ranked, or do you feel like you're enjoying the prospect of getting to the rank you want to get to?
I I do think I enjoy ranked. I don't. I do get exhausted playing it because, like you've said, something about this season just seems infinitely sweaty. Like
Yeah.
as soon as even just the placement matches are just like they're just clinchers, or I don't know. It's just it's kind of reached a new level. It seems like every game almost is like that, with a few outliers here and there. Um, I enjoy it. I've always kind of had the attitude, or gone to comp with the attitude, like you go there for competition, like you go
Mhm.
there to grind and to go up against teams that are on your level, and climb or sink, whatever. And so yeah, I do like I. It's frustrating for sure. I think you do have to like moderate it and pace yourself. You don't want to just make yourself miserable. So for me, I'm enjoying both of those things. I'm enjoying getting to the rank that I want, and I'm also enjoying just playing the game. But knowing that maybe there comes a time we both kind of like, I think, have understood that we have a threshold,
Yeah.
and we reach that threshold usually within 2 to 5 games. And we're like, all right, well, it's time to, like, let's just do a cool down lap, if you will, and jump into quick play or into 18v18 or whatever. Like, let's just do something drastically different.
Yeah. And to be clear, like I'm enjoying playing ranked. I'm enjoying this season, like overall playing. Um and I think it's really just the sweatiness, like you're talking about, where it's just like the counter picks and the just constant switching, and it always feels like I'm up against a team who understands what changes they need to make to their comp, and my team is just like playing mystery heroes. I've got like two people just switching between every single DPS that's ever been released. I'm like, how are they playing Tracer? It makes no sense.
Yeah, and like it seems like there tends to be when we're playing like a deficit too. And again, not trying to sound cocky or arrogant, because I know like I'm a very mid tier. Like I'm in plat for a reason. I'm hard stuck in plat for a reason. But um like looking at the scoreboard, looking at like the stats after the game when you're in like that post match lobby, you can kind of tell like when people like weren't flexing when they should. You can tell when like the numbers are pretty stagnant, pretty low. And even when the scoreboard doesn't say it all, like it's like we'll play support, and we know, you and I know that we know what to do when we're playing support. Um, we also know what it looks like when people don't know how to receive support. And that can go for any role, for any, like, whatever it is that your job is. And so I don't know. It's weird. Like our number one fan said, that it's just so streaky. And I think that's kind of ebbed and flowed over the course of these 5 seasons or so. Um, I do think that it's become a little less streaky, but it's as a result become just that much more sweaty and intense. For better for worse. I do enjoy it for the most part, though.
Yeah, I remember my great 11 game losing streak in season 2 in ranked. So
Mm.
I don't feel like I've hit anything like that. I think maybe the worst streak we've had is like a 4 loss streak or something like that. But yeah, it's less streaky. But I get the feeling. But I also think like climbing is uh, climbing's interesting in this game because it's like there's a lot of people that are like 22 TK that are like, I just want to play to the level to get my reward, and they can kind of brute force that by just playing games. Um, and the mechanics that you have to get to gold are just made simpler. And then when you get to plat, you don't have those same protections, right? Like with the chrono shields and those kinds of things. And so I think you can have this like feeling of explosive growth at the beginning of a season when you start playing, especially if you get placed in a lower rank. And then when you start losing those mechanics, you start to feel like you're kind of grinding to a halt, when in reality, like that's what the actual climb is. Like the actual climb is playing for 3 hours in a night and being like, I got 15 points on my rank, you
Yeah,
know?
and that's probably by design too, right? Like it's you want that dopamine hit, like get your hooks into the player at the beginning of the season, get them involved and invested, and then slow it down a little bit, make sure that they reach a plateau, and then either push through or wait and try again next season when or next half season when things. Well, I guess we don't have the reset anymore, whatever. So wait until next season. The mid-season reset is what I
Mhm.
meant, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. So I'm just going to move on from
Damn
that.
it.
But damn it. Uh, but yeah, we appreciate the comment 22. Oh, I was going to say this. You know, there's also two different kinds of people in gaming. There's the people that are like, let's end on that win. Perfect. You know, and and then there's the people that are like, we can't end on a loss. Like, and so I think the psychology kind of is appealing both ways, where it's like, hey, if we can get you into a lobby where you're going to win, you're going to feel satisfied when you log off. But if we put you in a lobby where you're going to lose, maybe you're that kind of person that like has to go again to get it. I'm curious, if you're listening to the show, what kind of player are you? I think Seth, me and you are the kind that are like, we're going to end on that loss. If we don't go again.
Yeah. I definitely get a little fast and loose with this rule. But I do kind of tend to go by like, oh, I'm gonna play until like at least with competitive. I'll lose twice, whether that's I play 2 games, lose both of them, and I'm done, or and I'll play until I reach 2 losses or until you get like tired or things are dragging on a little bit. So yeah, I'm very much in that boat like you. I'm not addicted to it to the point that I have to end on that positive note because I know another positive game is going to come again soon. When you keep chasing that, chasing the dragon or whatever it is that you want to call it, you keep chasing that high, and it may or may not come, right? And so then you're going to end up twice as miserable, more tired and cranky in the morning or whatever, and it's not really helping you or anybody else.
Hmm. Now, Halo 3 Luke was a guy that was like, we cannot end on that loss. We got to go again.
Well, we were younger then, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think last night we played until what, like 11. And then I
Yeah, we
got
got off
off
at like 11:30. I was like, holy shit, we stayed up late.
something like that. Yeah, and like the students don't come back till tomorrow for us, so like I still had a work day to kind of like rest and recuperate. Just getting things set up. So it was pretty not nothing like you're not like on all the time. So but yeah, like tonight, I don't know if I can do that as much.
Yeah.
There was a time where we could rally all night long, but I
Hmm.
think that time, if you do that now, there are consequences at our
Yeah.
age.
Yeah. I think the last time I stayed up like all night playing a video game was Destiny, the first
Mm,
Destiny launch.
yeah,
Um,
probably. We were what, 23, something like
yeah, we
that,
were young.
22.
That's crazy to think it was that long ago.
Hmm.
Let us know in the comments though if you like to end on a win or end on a, or if you're the kind of person who just ends on a loss. I'm curious. So, also let me know in the comments if me standing up at my desk like this looks absolutely fucking ridiculous. But I got a new mic stand and I got my standing desk working. And Seth, one of the things about working from home is that you start to realize just how much you're sitting on your ass, not moving or going anywhere. So my goal this year is to move my body a little bit more and to like get out into Asheville and make friends. So, so yeah, standing desk. Let me know if this looks ridiculous. What do you think, Seth?
I honestly, until you said that, I didn't even realize that you were standing up. It makes more sense now. Yeah, I think I haven't been watching you as much. Gave my other monitor to my son. I usually have like my laptop as my main screen. I've got like a crappy older monitor off to the side, and I'll put the show notes over there. Now I'm kind of jumping back and forth because our son, we gave him a play, or somebody gave him a PlayStation for Christmas, dressed in red. And you know he needed the screen,
Spider-Man.
so I was like, well, hey, since we got this, I'll just let you use my monitor from downstairs. And yeah, so no, I couldn't even tell. I think I saw the chair behind you, like in the background over your shoulder at some point, and I was like, well, I did notice the angle was a little bit off, but I didn't
You were
think
like,
too much
Luke got
about
very large. How does chair get so tiny back there?
it. You've grown.
No, I'm enjoying this though. I feel like I got a little bit more energy. I'm the kind of guy when I'm on the phone. Have you seen the meme of the guy who's like on the phone walking around his house and he's like on his roof, and in all these ridiculous places? That's me when I'm on the phone. So this feels natural.
No, my algorithms are, I think, a lot weirder than your. Actually, no, I know your algorithms are pretty weird too. I've seen some of the stuff
I
that you
saw
send
a
over.
man about my size last night on TikTok live, shirtless, eating. Do you remember what he was eating? Was it
Was it
pizza?
a cheeseburger? I
It may
thought
have been a cheeseburger.
you just sent the
Yeah, it was a
photo.
cheeseburger. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just staring at the camera, eating, didn't say a word. And I sent a screenshot to you guys. That's just the kind of content I get. So, all right. Well, let us move on. Well, there's a couple other things in Rivals I wanted to tell you looking at the picture.
Yeah, it's like back there again.
It kind of jump scared me at first because I was like, oh shit, I'm live. Because that guy looks like me.
They got me. They caught me. It's the real horrors of working from home.
There are a couple other things from the last week in Rivals I wanted to bring up. We got the Lady Loki release. We didn't have an episode to talk about it getting announced. It's now in the game. And Seth, I just got to say this, man. I have never seen a release in a game that has caused more people to log on, lock in a character, and play the worst fucking game of Marvel Rivals they've ever played in their life than I have with this Lady Loki skin. I've seen new character releases go better than this.
Yeah. It's nuts. Like, I think we played a game. We played a comp game, I want to say it was, the other day, where I think it was the first night that she dropped, and you at one point, I don't think I'd realized it, but like you get that feeling where you're not getting healed enough, and you were like, I don't think I've seen one totem dropped this whole time. It's like she didn't know that she could do it. And yeah, I think it's kind of wild. It's awesome that they're doing that. I'm really supportive of it. I think it's a great idea. I love how in depth they went with it, like with the new voice actor and everything. But yeah, it's wild just how much that was successful. I'm surprised in a lot of ways, but the Marvel Rivals community also is what it is. So there, I'm sure, all kinds of reasons for that.
He's calling you guys out for gooning constantly. All right.
And like, much to my chagrin, I've been accused of gooning as well. So
so you know how
take
harmful
it with a
that
grain
can
of
be.
salt.
Yeah. No, it felt like a new character release day because it was like there were just every game there was somebody just insta-locking Loki. I thought you were going to tell the story about the game last night on Burning T'Challa, where we had the Loki and we were about to win that fight, and all they had to do was copy me and ult as Cloak and Dagger, and then I would have had my ult, but instead they copied our fucking Scarlet Witch and tried to like ult and got instantly stunned out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you were pretty upset about that one.
Yeah, I try not to get super tilted in the chat, especially in ranked, because I just don't want people to throw. But yeah, after that one, it's like, what the fuck, Loki?
What did you do?
Yeah, but no, I love what they've done with the Lady Loki thing, and you know, it kind of like brings rise to what other characters can they do this sort of stuff with. I don't know how much sense it would make for a lot of other characters with the Lady Loki. I think it makes a little bit more sense, like kind of in universe, but brand new like hero portrait, new voice actor, all new voice acting lines. Like they went all out on this thing, and to be fair, didn't charge an outrageous amount for the skin. Like it was still about the same price as a regular skin of that level.
Yeah, for sure.
Then we had our Christmas and New Year's events, you know, giving away the free units, and then the Times Square event in for New Year's. The Christmas thing was cool, obviously. You know, just getting free units for visiting the tree. The New Year's event I was a little disappointed by. I thought there was going to be like something and not just a fire. Like I thought we would at least like see the character model of Mayor Fisk.
Deadpool.
No,
Oh, okay.
because it was like Mayor Fisk's New Year's Eve party in Times Square.
Yeah, it's true on the billboards and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I think it's nice that they did that. That's kind of a cool. I mean, it was packed full of people, so it was obviously pretty successful. But um, yeah, I mean, nothing like about any of these events really blew me away, but I definitely appreciated like the ability to get the units, having the seasonal pass and stuff like that. I didn't end up buying the premium pass for the whole Squirrel World, like the Christmas tree themed thing, but enjoyed doing it, shooting the nuts at the tree or whatever, and breaking the little cookies. Yeah, overall cool stuff. Not my favorite event that we've done, but it was again kind of nice. I didn't hate being um, in Marvel Rivals at the start of the new year at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the best event's going on right now anyway, which is the Chrono Rush event, where we can just stack Chrono tokens and get a bunch of units. So. All right. Well, that was kind of a mishmash of our weekend rivals and viewer comments. If you want your comments read, make sure you comment on either the full episode on YouTube or Spotify, or on any of the videos that we post up over on social media. We always choose from there. Just a couple of housekeeping things before we jump into the news, or jump into our draft. Sorry. First of all, follow us on social. We're over on Instagram. We are over on TikTok at Rival Banter. We are on Blue Sky at Rival Banter as well. So give us a follow in all of those places. If you're listening over on Spotify and you enjoy the show, leave us a 5-star review. That just helps us show up more for people who are interested in Marvel Rivals, who are interested in video games. So that would be cool. And then lastly, we have a brand new Rival Banter Discord server that I've fired up today, and be a place to talk about Marvel Rivals, look for people that you want to play games with, and talk about episodes. You can also like suggest topics and reply to stuff in there as well. We'll have the link in the description. Check that out and join that. Seth, did you join it, or are you seriously declining?
I did not decline it IRL. I just have not accepted it yet. I can't get into Discord on my phone when I'm at school, or like anyway, unless I'm in the esports lab. So I'll get to it. This is the first time I've thought about it since then.
Yeah, all good. But me and Seth will be in there eventually to hang out with y'all. All right, with that out of the way, let's jump into our draft for this week, Seth. It's a brand new year. We have 51 weeks left in this year of Marvel Rivals content to come. So I think it's no better time than now to do our 2026 Marvel Rivals predictions. Now, I know you hate this sort of stuff, which is why I gave you a little heads up. Hopefully you had a little bit more time.
I mean, I did. I still don't have too much for you. I'm just bad at it. I guess I'm just bad.
That's all good. Maybe as we're going through some stuff I say, we'll spark some ideas as well, because I've got 10 ideas here. We're only going to do no, we're not going to do all 10. Don't worry. We're how many do you think you have? You have 3,
I
5?
can give you like 3 to 4
Okay.
tops. Yeah.
All right. So what we'll do is we'll do our top 3 predictions for Rivals 2026. And then if you want to see my full list of 10, watch this, Seth. Join our Discord. I'm going to drop my full predictions in the Discord. You can check them out
Oh,
there and then come in and leave yours as well. So you like that, Seth? That's called marketing. It's called promotion.
that's what you do for a living. I like it. I like it.
So now another thing for marketing I'm going to have us do, Seth, is when I turn this over to you for your first pick, if you'll say my 3 predictions for Rivals 2026 are, because I'm going to cut it, our predictions and your predictions and my predictions for TikTok. So, but we're going to do a draft. We're going to alternate, but let's go ahead and I'll hit you with mine. So my 3 predictions for Marvel Rivals 2026. Number 1 is there is going to be a Marvel movie viewing party in Times Square. And I'm not exactly what I think it might be. So the Spider-Man movie, I think, comes out this summer, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And then we've got the Doomsday movie, Avengers Doomsday in December, I think, is the release date for that. So what I think is that there will be some kind of Spider-Man movie viewing in December ahead of the Avengers Doomsday movie to kind of
So
hype
like
everything up.
putting the movies on the screen or something like that. I think that's a great idea. We've talked about it a little bit before on the show, like kind of the idea of doing something like that. I just wonder like how feasible it would be like for people to listen to. Like, how do you balance? I'm sure it could be done, like balance the audio. I feel like there are a lot of chaotic noises and stuff going on whenever a lot of
Yeah.
shooting and stuff. So I don't know how much of an enjoyable like watching experience that would be, but it would be cool to do. And if you've got the rights to it anyway, like, they're playing Disney Plus commercials in Times Square all the time right now in the game. So why not do something like that if you've got the rights and, you're connected with Disney? Sure.
Yeah. All right. Hit us with your first one. But give us the intro, Seth. It's all about the content. All right.
My prediction for Marvel Rivals in 2026 is that we will see. This is not like galaxy brain take, but I do think that we are going to start to see the payoffs that we've been teased on for a while. I think that we are going to see those character drops like Charles Xavier, Cyclops, especially since we got this trailer. Have you seen the trailer that dropped today for Doomsday?
I saw just one screenshot of old Charles X from it.
Okay, yeah. So like they're leaning in, they're starting to like kind of show off some of the X-Men. They've teased and like kind of mentioned that we're going to start to get them in these new Avengers movies. That's where the crossover is going to kind of start, even more than it has so far. So I think that's like a no better time. Like a lot of these teased characters have been X-Men characters, and so why not start to bring them in the lead up to that movie coming out here soon. So yeah, that's my first one. Maybe a softball, but it's a ball and you should be grateful for it.
Hey, that is fine with me. Um, so my second prediction is that Cyclops is going to be a summer release in conjunction with the new season of X-Men 97, and it'll be the same
Oh,
voice actor for
oh.
both, and that there will be
Is that coming
some
out this summer too?
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And I think that there will be some sort of reference, maybe subtle, maybe Easter eggy, to Rivals or something in the Rival story in X-Men 97. We've got the same voice actors for Gambit and Rogue already, and I think it'll probably be the same actor for Cyclops. So
Yeah, and season one was very Easter eggy anyway. So yeah, I think that definitely tracks with me as well too. So hell yeah, I'm all for that.
all right, what's your second?
Second, I am going to still kind of leaning into the X-Men thing, but not character related. I'm just gonna try to manifest it and say that we get our expansion map that we've like yearned for. We've talked about some pretty wild ideas about like kind of like symbiotizing it when in season three and like doing a convoy through like a progressively changing or like deteriorating map. But I think that something like that. I'd love to see the X Mansion, like taking a tour of the place, ending up or starting in the Danger Room, something like that would be a lot of fun. So yeah, that's one of my predictions for 2026 as well.
All right, my third and final prediction is that there will be a character added that uses the destructible environments in one of their abilities. And I think we've maybe speculated on this before, but I, as much as the destructible environments are cool, I think they could be better utilized if like you had Juggernaut or something who was able to like because he's got like not psychic powers, but like psionic powers himself. Like maybe he can blast through a wall that's destructible and do damage
Mm,
to somebody in cover on the other side of it or something like that. But
okay, okay. I feel like we got a tease with that of like when Thing first dropped, like
mhm.
seeing him on the Midnight. Was it what is that map called? Midnight.
Oh, the New York map.
Yeah, yeah, the one with Dracula's
Yeah,
castle or whatever.
yeah.
Maybe I'm butchering it, but like when we first saw Thing, one of the big things that made people kind of like go wow was seeing him do like his big slam and like destroying the bridge right there at that choke, or kind of like before you get to that corner, going past that first point. So something like that, yeah, I think we've seen that kind of thing before. I feel like that is kinda like the next level. It's an escalation where, like, it kind of, like, encourages you to get more familiar with the map as well, like, kind of to another level than you maybe already are. You kinda get an idea, like, if you've played it enough of what's destructible and what's not, but, maybe that increases. Maybe we've got new things or parts of the map that can be destroyed. Um, Maybe we kinda take it a step, maybe we battlefield defied the game, and pretty much everything can be destructible to some level or another. Like, could be cool.
Yeah. All right, what's your final prediction, Seth?
Final prediction. I, I'm gonna go with the Deadpool thing for my final 2026 prediction. We'll talk about it. I think it was in the show notes somewhere as well. It's probably coming up here soon. But we've now seen four different versions of Deadpool in Marvel Rivals so far. We've seen him listed as all three different types of character. We've seen him in support, we've seen him as a duelist, we've seen him as a vanguard, and now
And we saw
we've
him as a
seen
question
him.
mark.
That's true. So, like, kind of like, what's he going to be? So maybe
Mhm.
five, I guess. And now we'll talk about it soon. But he's a map. He's there listed as a board in the game. So I think that they're I love how they're kinda like he's a meta-fictional character anyway, like, he's, like, constantly breaking the fourth wall, playing around with all kinds of ideas. I think him being involved in all kinds of stuff and being different kinds of stuff. So I would not be surprised to see him kind of, like, become the, like, de facto narrator of the game, kinda like the messenger or, like, the delivery person who kinda, like, makes connections or makes them more explicit for us in the game. Like maybe he's in the menus. He's like a voice that you hear. Um, Even if he's not like in the game, like some nobody's playing him once he launches. I could see like you hearing Deadpool narrating like events as things go on. There's kind of a cool feature in some games, like in Street Fighter or some like fighting games do this in particular, where you can like have like in-game announcers, kind of like in a sports game or something
Mhm.
like that too, where they're like saying lines kind of about what's going on. I can see Deadpool doing that as well. So like I think that would be a cool way to kind of like take what they've been doing with him, that whole meta angle where they're like kind of showing how he breaks the fourth wall and implementing that into the game in a lot of different ways. Not to mention possibly making him break the wall between character types, whatever that might look like with these teases they've been doing.
Mhm. Yeah, I could also, with the map thing, see us also getting a Deadpool map at some point where there's like other versions of Deadpool baked into the map that you can interact with or do certain things like
Kind of
uh
like Spider, what is it?
yeah.
Spider Girl,
Yeah.
2099 or whatever on those maps. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm thinking even more like You know how like if you shoot some of like the symbiote bridges or something and they'll like react to it or whatever. So
Mhm.
like not necessarily just in the spawn room, but what if there's a map where there's like different versions of Deadpool that if you interact with him, he'll do something to the map to change this aspect of it, or
Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
who knows though. I'm more and more curious now because at first it was just like, oh well, they're just being little goofs about what role he's going to be in, but now it's like maybe they might be doing some bigger, more interesting things with Deadpool.
Yeah, the bad thing when I saw that today, it really threw me. I was like, "What?" It opened up the floodgates of possibilities for me.
Yeah. Well, I've got 7 others that you're going to have to join our Discord to hear. And Seth said he has maybe a fourth one. So if you want to join and see what his fourth one is, feel free to do that. Link will be in the description below. But let's move on, Seth, to the news. Um, First story on the list, we've got a couple new skins coming to the game. As always, we've got the Cosmic Warlock and the Ice Phoenix skins. And these look cool. I mean, you've been playing a lot more Phoenix lately. Does this speak
I
to you in
mean,
any way?
I've kind of fallen off for a little bit, but yeah, I mean, it's cool. I do feel like she's kind of in the Scarlet Witch zone where a lot of her skins seem to be pretty samey. Maybe like seeing this at a different angle or whatever would kind of like set it apart a
There's
little
a
bit.
trailer linked right below it.
I see it now. Yeah, I don't know how I missed that earlier. Um,
It it
yeah, I mean,
it looks a little more like a, well, hold on, let me share my screen here, but maybe it's not a recolor.
I mean, I that's kind of what I was gonna say too. Yeah, and she kind of does have that like Scarlet Witch thing going on to her too, like the thick flowing hair or whatever. I feel like that might get a little confusing and like the heat of the moment sometimes. I'm seeing more and more like why I know we mentioned one time like my high school esports teams they are not allowed to use skins according to the rules in play versus, and I think this is a big reason why is because it can get a little complicated to figure out who's who if you're not paying care close enough attention, I guess.
Yeah, especially with like skins where you can, yeah, so this is going to be a legendary skin. It's got the ability voice effects and that sort of thing. So yeah, it'll have some stuff beyond just the skin. But I see that being another reason. Like if you can equip a different voice line, like competitively, that can be a little weird. So I don't know. The skins are cool though. Um, and then yes, so the next story on our list was about Deadpool being a map. I think we kind of covered everything though that we wanted to say about that. Did you have any other thoughts?
No, not in particular. But
All right. Well, then our final story on the list before we get to our topic is that Marvel's bot problem is getting worse as players get thrust into bot matches after every loss. Now, look, this is one of those stories covering a Reddit post. So, what can you say? But I do think it's a topic we haven't talked about a whole lot on the show, but it is a topic that's been happening. A topic that's been discussed a lot within the community. Um, but yeah, so somebody over on Reddit posted about how after every single loss that they had in quick play, they were then put into a bot match, and one of those actually came after they were substituted into a loss. So it used to be that you got thrust in after a couple, but this person seems to think that they're being put in after every single defeat. And then a lot of other people kind of shared the sentiment, right? And the reaction from the community is normally just give us the option to not play against bots. Seth, how do you feel about the bot situation in quick play?
I mean, it's maybe we don't lose enough like quick play games to consecutively to really fall into that boat. But I have noticed it seems like there's been an uptick. I don't have the data to back it up, but I have noticed the names are much more bot like on a seemingly more regular basis. I do love that idea, like being able to choose, because I hate that part about Fortnite too,
Mhm.
where you never know, even in ranked on Fortnite, right? You don't really know if you're going up against bots or not, or like sometimes you can just kind of tell by what they're doing. So yeah, I don't like that. I think it kind of like throws. the competition off a little bit. It feels great to be like rolling through a team, um, whether they're bots or not. But then it kind of like sours the deal a little bit when you realize, well, they're just there to make you feel good.
Yeah, and I'm not even really sure it's all about just like engagement, right? Like I think it's also just about rivals really liking having those low queue times because in
Hmm.
quick match especially, you're getting into a match within 1 or 2 seconds of you pressing the button, right? And that is partly because of the bot matches that you get put into. But it might also just be the fact that maybe there's a diminishing player base or that there's a lot of different options of game modes to play just outside of quick play, that maybe the quick play player base has gone down and so they're having to backfill more matches with bots or something like that. But I don't know, we have the option to play with bots, right? Like you can go play a bot match where you get match made with real humans to play against bots of varying difficulties. So I feel like maybe the logic is just if we give you that option, everybody's just going to turn it off. But
True.
if that's the case, then that has to tell you everybody fucking hates playing against bots, right? So like,
Mhm.
just turn it off. And I'm much more willing to wait 20 seconds, 30 seconds in queue. I mean, in Fortnite, you're waiting in queue to find players with bots. And then you get taken to the little island where they're trying to find even more players. Like the matchmaking in Fortnite takes way longer than Marvel Rivals. So if I'm willing to sit through that, I'm willing to sit through 30 seconds so that you can find me some real players to go up against.
Yeah, clock it, Guang Guang.
Clock it. All right. Well, let's move on to our topic of the week, which is Marvel Rivals Ignite format got announced, Seth. I'm
Hell
excited.
yeah. I'm very excited. When you sent me this link, I was watching it, just like turned it on right there at work, and I was just like cheesing, smiling at my computer. Like this is exactly what I wanted. I didn't even know that I wanted it. It's exactly what I wanted, but we'll dive into that more as we get into the details. I'm excited to say the least.
Yeah. So Rivals Ignite is coming back. MRC is going to be continuing, but there's going to be an all new format for the game. And they described it as, hold on, let me make sure I get the quote right, because I thought the quote was really interesting, that it's
Yeah,
going to be
yeah,
more professional, mature, and exciting. And I think that that's an interesting approach for an esport, right? Like, I think esports a lot of times kind of suffers. Look, coming from somebody who worked for a couple years in esports, I know how immature it can be, right? Like you're having to tell grown ass adults that they have to show up somewhere at like noon and they're bitching about it or whatever. Like I know that esports can be pretty immature. So like hearing that like professional and mature and exciting is kind of their goal for this thing. They want to grow this into something that's more sustainable, I think was pretty exciting to me. But Seth, you looked like that wording popped out to you as well.
yeah. It's kind of in the same boat. Like the mature thing, I think, is what throws me the most. Like I get that, but like, how do you quantify maturity? Like, how do you quantify maturity to be able to use it in your advertising for the new season of your esport? Professional, I get. Exciting, I get. The mature thing, I was like, huh,
Yeah.
could be cool. Now, as to what that means, I I can't say, but that kind of makes me wonder: is it more in terms of like the structuring and the systems that they're going to be putting in place that we'll get to here in a few? Is it more about like what they're looking for in partnerships and stuff like that? Is it a fiscal thing, like dealing with the money? I don't know, but yeah, I do kind of get the idea. Like, there's kind of an interesting vibe with esports, and in some ways it's awesome. In some ways, I kind of struggle with it. Like when we went to watch Rivals in Atlanta for the grand finals, quite a few of the players, and this is pretty much true for any esport, every esport that I've been to. Or like live event, they're professional players. They're making thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on the game, and they're in Crocs, with no socks on. They're in sweatpants or something like that, and they're up there, making big bucks more or less, right? Or at least trying to do it. And like there was for a while. when esports really, it seemed like it was going to explode a little bit more than it actually did. They were advertising all kinds of weird shit. Like I saw some esports specific shoes
Hmm.
at one
Yeah,
point.
Puma tried to get in that with Cloud
Yeah,
Nine.
yeah, they were
Yeah,
like socks or whatever, but they were a shoe.
yeah.
Kind of funky. Kind of could have been cool, but they were a little outside my price range for what I was looking for, I think, in my footwear. But yeah, so it makes me wonder, like, is it gonna kind of be like that? Like, you think about like the stuff that you see in esports versus the stuff that you see in like more traditional big time sports. There's a reason I think that there's kind of a stigma around esports, and I wonder if this is kind of a way to combat against some of that stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe when they say mature, what they're really talking about is just the partnerships and the kind of longevity that they're going for with some of this stuff. But I agree with you that well, when I was working in league, um, they had rules about like not wearing Crocs on stage and stuff like that. So they're like there were some of those. Like there are some leagues that I think take that sort of stuff a little more seriously than others. I think what really makes a league mature is realizing that every article of clothing that your players are wearing is an opportunity to like advertise something or like get a partnership,
Hmm.
right? Like Cloud9 had a partnership with Puma, right? And so their players would like wear Puma on stage and stuff like that. So and I think when you have partner teams that we're going to talk about here in just a second, you kind of open up more opportunities to get those sorts of things where it's like we're guaranteed to be at these events at these times. Like partners are a lot more interested in coming in and like sponsoring you when you know you're going to be at events versus, well, we're going to have to try to qualify and we might make it, we might not. So having those slots I think is really important. But before we jump into all the business side of it, let's talk about uh some of the format changes here. I've had the video up here playing while we've been talking, but there's going to be 4 regions now. There's going to be the Americas region, EMEA, China, and then they are going to be combining the Asia and Oceania uh, into what they're calling the Pacific region. So probably just a matter of widening talent pools and that sort of thing, giving more teams from smaller regions opportunities to qualify for tournaments and stuff like that. This doesn't seem to be as popular in esport in like Korea as like Overwatch was or League
Hmm.
is or something like that. So maybe an opportunity to get more eyes in some of those more endemic esports regions like that too. Um, MRC is going to continue to kind of take place uh, under Ignite as it's going on, and there's going to be 12 league spots for the Americas and EMEA region, and then 8 for Asia, 8 for Oceania, 8 for China. And the way that it works is Asia and Oceania are going to compete separately and then come together to compete in a playoff to see who gets uh, you know into the lands. So that's how that region is going to work. Let's see. Preseason is going to be starting in April, and then we're going to have 2 stages, and then the midseason finals and then the grand finals, both of those being international lands. So all right, before we get into anything else, Seth, what are your thoughts so far on those details?
All cool. I mean, just the fact that they're taking the time to restructure and organize and make stuff better. I love the idea of that. I love the idea of having like these league spots and like they're a set number for each area or region. I'm most excited about the stuff that's coming up next. I love the idea of this stuff in general, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yes. So next is like you're saying, it's the exciting stuff. So there's going to be a $3 million prize pool, which I think is higher than last year's, but I can't quite
I want to
remember.
say it was like one last
Yeah, I
year, if
think
I'm
it
not
was 1
mistaken.
last year.
It may
So
have even been less, but I'm not sure.
yeah, tripling that to 3 million, and then there's going to be 12 partner teams that are divided amongst the regions. And what partner teams are going to be are teams that what I'm assuming is that they commit to a spot or maybe even pay for a spot. I don't know exactly how that part's going to work, but and that's going to guarantee them at least some sort of like preferential placement inside of some of these tournaments. And then what's going to happen is there's going to be promotion and relegation. So teams from the MRC are going to have opportunities to win and take over for some of the bottom ranking teams in MRI, the Marvel Rivals Invitational. And if you're a partner team, there's going to be some level of like relegation protection that takes place. So you can still get relegated as a partner team, which is why I think they're probably not paying for their slots. But you will have some sort of a protection. And then with those partner teams, what they'll also get is revenue sharing and then partner team bundles like in game that you'll be able to purchase. And then overall, there's going to be esports bundles that they're going to make available inside the game as well, which I imagine will go towards funding Marvel Rivals esports. So,
that's kind of what I think we talked about. I'm imagining it's kind of like what the Overwatch League initially did, where like you have team specific skins. COD League does it too, or at least has in the past, or stuff like that. I love that idea. I'm the most the biggest complaint about stuff like American soccer, and a lot of American sports in general is that we don't really have that threat of relegation. Like you can work your way up to like the Premier League in English soccer, or if you don't do well, you can end up falling down into a lower league. And there are like how many different tiers that you can fall down to. I love this because like for a couple reasons, it adds stakes for teams. It's not like you're just there seeing the same teams play over and over and over again until they get bought by somebody else and then they change the name, like it happens in COD League pretty often nowadays. Um, but also like it gives anybody the potential to play and make it into that pro scene. It's not like you got to get talent scouted and like work your way up like in a lot of traditional sports. Like you can just get in the game, play with your team, as long as you register. You need to do all that stuff, that like whatever it looks like on the back end. It's not stuff that I've done personally, but like you can, like anybody can get there, and that's a big hell yeah for me. Like just the idea that it's open for anybody that's good enough to get there.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the promotion and relegation idea. I think it is a bit of a double-edged sword when it just comes to organizations' willingness to get involved in it, because in like the English Premier League and then the leagues that are under it, right? There's still a lot of incentive for running your team if you get relegated. You have fans that are committed to your team. They're paying to come to your games. They're still buying your merch. There's still players that want to come play for you for the opportunity to get promoted again. Like, so there's reasons to kind of maintain your presence in soccer when you get relegated. I think one of the issues in esports is that you don't really have that incentive to stick around, right? Like if I'm an organization that puts a team together and then I get relegated, I'm likely not going to then continue to pay that roster of players to compete through MRC to try to get back into it. So I think you do kind of get some of that organizational turnover, but I think the trade-off that you get for what you're talking about, where you have this sort of atmosphere that anybody can qualify, is a good trade-off for those sorts of things. And depending on what that relegation protection looks like for partner organizations, that might make some of those partner organizations a little squirrely to get in there. If I'm Cloud9 and I'm like, I've never been in the rival scene, what if I invest all this money in paying players and coaching staff and the infrastructure to actually have a team, and then they kind of stink and get relegated? Is Cloud9 just out for eternity after that? Like, are they ever going to get back into the scene? So I think it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. They've started to do that in like League of Legends, where you can get promoted, but that was after they kind of did away with the franchise spots. So yeah, I don't know how you balance that, like, because I think esports needs the consistency. It needs those players that kind of stay, or not players, but those organizations that stay in the scene and become like, and I think FlyQuest is committed. I think 100 Thieves is committed. I think we got like Navi and Virtus Pro, and I think we're going to get some other, I think G2 might be getting involved in Rivals Esports. Fanatics might, with these. Like having that partnership opens up the door, I think, for a lot of the more larger, the more serious organizations to consider getting into it, especially with revenue sharing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree.
And hold on, sorry. But yeah, I think let me hold on. Everything's going awry. I use a video of like a soft light to light up my room, and it ended and went to another video that had sound. Anyway, yeah, the revenue sharing and partner team bundles I think is really interesting, right? Like, because the bridge that was never built between traditional sports and esports was, how do we make up for the lost revenue of like teams not having stadiums that they play in and having ticket revenue, and how do we make up for not having, broadcasting rights that we're selling, like, because that's where all the money comes from in traditional sports. ESPN pays $800 million for the rights to broadcast the NBA or whatever. So I'm curious, like, what sort of revenue streams are going to flow in for teams? Like, what revenue are they going to share in? Is it just these partnership bundles? Is it just the esports bundles, or are they actually going to get a cut of, all all skin sales during this amount of time, or whatever? Like, what does it mean by revenue sharing? I know, honestly, I don't even know if I'm allowed to share this, but I know when I was working in league, Riot would pay teams a bonus if one of their players used a skin that had just been released. So like if there was a Lux skin that came out and you had a mid laner support that played Lux, and then they wore the skin, you would get like a bonus for that. Not enough for us to be like, you need to go play Lux in this game, nothing like that. But like, you got a nice little kickback for that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm very interested to see how viable it is for teams to get involved as partners. But yeah, I'm really excited, man. I also hope they use Times Square a little more for the esports scene too. Like, give me the ability to go into Times Square and like watch MRI matches that are going on and stuff like that. I think could be really cool if I'm sporting like my team skin and all that, showing my support, like adding reactions for my team, like in emote of the FlyQuest logo or something like that.
Ooh, yeah, that's a cool idea too.
Like if the esport itself is going to be so digital, like let's take advantage of digital spaces to get the community together to watch it.
Amen.
All right. Well, let us know you guys' thoughts on the upcoming MRI stuff. Oh, one thing I did want to ask you about, Seth. April seems like a long time from now, does it? Does it not?
It does, yeah. I mean, it's not really, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, the MRC. I've been trying to tune in and watch, but you don't really know the organizations that are playing or many of the players, and then like it's 10-minute breaks between a lot of matches and stuff like that too. Like it's just been really hard to keep up with. So I'm itching for MRI to come back, and I really want to kind of throw myself fully into it this time. And then when we decide to go to DreamHack Vegas or whatever, or Dallas or wherever it's going to be, to watch the grand finals, I'm a little more invested. So. All right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for our show this week. We hope everyone had a wonderful holiday and a happy new year. Thanks for sticking with us through the break. But before we get out of here, Seth, what are you getting up to in game this week?
Just gonna grind, baby. Just trying to get through that platinum hump and on into diamond. And I'll probably just stop at diamond 3. We're running pretty short on time at this point. I think we've got a week and a half until Deadpool drops. So really, other than that, I'm just gonna be waiting for Deadpool coming out. He might make me a DPS man after all, if that is in fact what he is. But who knows? I'm just excited to kind of see what's coming after all these teases so far.
For sure. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get to diamond as well. I'm also like almost. I'm Centurion on Bucky right now, and I'm like my second DPS Lord possibly, and I've just been playing a lot of Bucky and quick play.
Could be kill.
Could be. All right, guys. Well, we're going to get out of here. Make sure you let us know your thoughts on the esports stuff, on bots, on your predictions for 2026. I've already set a calendar reminder, Seth, for us to go back and look at these predictions in December, because we were terrible about doing that when we were doing P3P.
Okay.
So, so yeah, let us know your predictions as well. Make sure you join our Discord server in the link below if you're interested in hanging out with us and finding other people to play Marvel Rivals with. New year, trying to build up the community a little bit more, because the first year of the show was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of fun because of you guys that have been listening. So wherever you're listening, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next week, good luck in your games. We love you. Goodbye.
Peace.